I recently made a mediocre video on the HOVERAir X1 drone. A lot of you guys commented with questions, so I thought it warranted a quick video to run through some of them and give you some answers. Binny Benjamin says, curious, can it fly without a person or subject in frame? There is a manual mode on the drone which you can unlock once you've done 5 or 10 preset modes where you get full control of it in the app. Otherwise, in any other mode, it has to be locked onto you and it'll follow you. Amit Galot 2010 says, nice, but what about obstacles avoidance? It works by latching onto you using image processing to recognize you and then follow you around. So there's no obstacle avoidance. The only sensor on it is underneath on the bottom there, and that's what it uses to work out its height. So because it hasn't got GPS in there, it needs that sensor to know how far it is from the floor, and then it uses the camera and the image from the camera to work out where you are and then follow you around. Next question is from Wilson ST6044 or Wilson's T6044. You'll have to forgive my pronunciation of some of these handles. Who says, does this AI make this hover drone? So the image processing bit of the drone, I guess you could class that as AI. It's using computer vision to work out where you are, but it's only seeing you as an object. It's not really intelligent as such, but you could call it AI if you wanted to. All right, next. Video Mazda. Hi, thanks for the info. Quick questions. Does it have sensor to avoid hitting an object? How about the wind resistance? I have a DJI Mini 2, but this hover looks handy. The only thing is, I hope I'm correct, DJI Mini 2 can record 4K and 60 FPS. Is this already available in Europe? Obstacle avoidance I've just spoken about. DJI Mini 2 can record 4K in 60 FPS. If that's the question, I don't know. I haven't got a DJI Mini 2. The HOVERAir X1 can do 2.7K at 30 frames per second. Is this already available in Europe? Yes, there's a link in the description of the video. What did I put? Oh, the winds. It's level 4, I think it's called, but it should be stable in anything up to 18-mile-an-hour winds. Skitter Comic says, I thought I saw in a different video about this camera that you can call it back to you by holding out your hand. Is that true? It depends what mode you're in. So there's various modes that I showed in the video. If it's the follow mode, if you want the drone to come back to you, just stop moving for 3 seconds and it'll come back towards you. Then you can hold your palm out and get it to land. If it's in hover mode, it'll stay stationary and follow you around. In that mode, you just hold your hand out and it'll fly back towards you and land. So yes, but it depends what mode you're in. I just put yes because I was tired of responding to comments. Dan O'Ringer or Dan No Ringer says, I like the modes except I try to never include myself in the frame. Is there a complementary mode that does what you show except for not including yourself in frame? I want to capture my surroundings without taking a picture of myself, although sometimes it would be nice to have the audio recorded, not the image of myself. Yeah, so that's where you need manual mode, but if that is the only thing you're going to be doing and you never or hardly ever want to be in the frame, this is probably not the drone for you. They do label it as a selfie drone, so it's designed to follow you and capture you and your environment. Kim Yip 4833 says, great review, looks awesome. Does your iPhone need to be unlocked with the Hover app open to record audio from iPhone, or will it record with app open with iPhone screen locked? While in certain flight mode like Hover, can you use any hand gestures to take a photo? Would love to purchase, but doesn't ship to Australia. Why all the questions then? Yes, you need to leave your iPhone unlocked to record the audio. There is a separate mode for taking photographs as well, where it'll just fly off and then you wave at it or whatever and it'll take photos. I haven't tried it myself, which is why I'm being so blasé about it, but there are definitely modes in the app to take photos. Sami Yulzinali 5373 says, can you please demonstrate how you cancel the drone noise from the video using the AI you mentioned? It will be much appreciated. It's kind of what a big portion of the video was about. It's all automatic. So you record your audio through your phone and then the processing in the app removes the noise of the drone propellers. So they're probably using some sort of voice isolation where they'll know the frequency and the rough sound of the propellers and then they'll just remove those frequencies from the recording. It does work really well and hopefully you could hear that in the video. It's not perfect, but it's pretty impressive. Tishek1710 says, I think you still need an operator ID to use this in the UK. Now, since you are required to keep the drone in visual line of sight, isn't that the follow mode from behind breaking the rules? You do need an operator license only because it's less than 250 grams, but the visual line of sight thing is really for drones that fly a long distance away, like 4 kilometers or whatever. You are always meant to keep your drone within visual sight, so you shouldn't really have it flying as far away that you can't see it anymore. That's really what that's all about. Otherwise, if you're talking about this sort of thing, you could argue that when you're looking at your controller on another drone, you're not looking at the drone. So it's going to be behind you, yes, so it's not in your line of sight for that millisecond, but it's only 15 meters where you can hear the propellers whirring away. So yeah, I honestly don't think that'll apply here. Oh God, Troglodidio says, I have a question. This drone's also required a certification to fly it. It depends where you're from. As I just said, if you're in the UK, the drone is a lot less than 250 grams, so you just need an operator license. They're £10 for the year, and you can just sign up for them online. But obviously, if you're in a different country, or whatever country you're in, check the local rules and regulations and laws around drone usage for you. Don't take my advice on anything. Anthony Black 2762 says, nice, can you direct me where I can buy one of these? Having difficulty finding it. The link's in the description of the video. I think I put it in a pinned comment as well. So it's hard to see if you're watching on a TV, but on a laptop or phone, just expand that description and you'll get the link there. Eric D1084 says, do you think it can fly while holding my Insta360 Go 3? No, you need an FPV drone or something purposely built for carrying a camera. Mick Enos 5 Ways says, what do you think, James? Who's James? Klaus Wackerberg. Let's just call him Wackerberger 1880. So the maximum height to fly will be 50 meters high and only possible to do in manual mode. But what if you're standing on a 200 meter high building and start from the rooftop? Then will the drone be able to fly up to 250 meters, or will it stay on the ground of the roof because the roof is 200 meters high and already over the limit of 50 meters capable of the drone? So there's no GPS in the drone, so it only knows how high it is based on what's underneath it via this sensor underneath. So it doesn't matter how high your building is. If the drone can see the roof of the building, it only measures the distance between itself and the thing it can see below it. The thing to be careful of is if you're on your 200 meter high building and you fly off the edge, the drone could no longer see the floor, or it could see the floor 250 meters away and it'll suddenly drop and probably kill somebody. So just don't. Matthias Rosin says, nice review. Can this drone do shots of buildings from a bird's eye perspective? Or let's say do a 360 rotation around a fixed point from a higher altitude? Or is it only suitable for more or less footage where it follows a person or tracking moving objects? I'm missing a few words about this versatility beyond what we have seen here. So I've just said it needs to track a person and see the floor. If you send it off a building, it'll fall. Basically the same answer to the previous question. Lone Wolf Explorer says, looks like a great bit of kit. I'm looking for a drone to take my channel to the next level. I was looking at a DJI Mini, but this looks really good. Can it get those cinematic shots up high to really show your location? So using the built-in modes, it'll only go up to 15 meters high. You do get a decent view of your surroundings, but if you're talking about a full sort of panoramic landscape shot, then no, it's not really designed for that. Daneclasaurus6745 says, can this shoot portrait mode? So when this question first came in, there was nothing in the app to tell you that it could do portrait mode, but since then there's been an update and an alert popped up saying that portrait mode is coming soon. One thing I will say about the app and the firmware on these is they are being updated quite regularly at the moment. There's been obviously feedback after the release from a lot more people using it, a lot more feature requests, and I've had probably 3, maybe even 4 updates since I got the drone about a month ago. So they do seem really responsive and really quick to update things, and they are adding new features in all the time, and that portrait mode is coming. I'm just going to give up with these names. L says, cheers so much. Is it louder than a Mini 3, as I live in one of Australia's largest tourist towns and would like to use it along our esplanade? I don't have a Mini 3, so I've no idea. It is quieter than the Mini SE that I had before, or the Mini 2, I can't remember which one it was, but it's a different kind of pitch. I have put a bit of the review video in where I'm kind of capturing the sound of the drone. It's higher pitch than a DJI, but I would say it is a little bit quieter as well. What speed can it follow, and does it have sensors to detect trees, etc.? Would like one to follow my motorbike. So it'll follow you up to 15 miles an hour. And no, as I've said, there's only the downward sensor. Unless you can ride your bike through a tree or a wall, it's going to follow your path and follow your trajectory, so you should be fine. I did not see or read any information on flight time. Thought I'd mention this in the video, but the flight time from each battery is 11 minutes. So they're really small batteries. You get 2 of them with it if you go for the kit. And when you say flight time 11 minutes, it sounds like nothing, right? But bear in mind, a lot of the time, or 99% of the time, you're using these built-in flight modes where you just press the button, it starts filming and does whatever you want it to do, whether that's spin around you, fly off, fly straight up and look down at you, or follow you, or whatever it is you're trying to do. So if you look at the DJI drones, I think my last one had a 19 or 20 minute flight time. A lot of that flight time for me was taken by flying the drone into position, lining up my shot, and just getting things ready before I could even hit that record button. So it is only 11 minutes per battery, but that's 11 minutes of usable recording and usable footage. So just bear that in mind. I took the drone out on my last camp as well, and I only used 1 battery, and I managed to get only 4 or 5 shots, but for me it's just about getting those extra bits of B-roll to complement the camp. So battery life's not an issue for me. Don't be too afraid of that 11 minutes. But if you do want something that's going to fly around for hours and hours, then again, this is probably not the drone for you. Another one, 11 minutes per battery, is that correct? No good if that's the case. Good review though. So I've kind of explained, or tried to explain, the same thing that I've said there. Another thing just to mention about the batteries is you do get a combined charger, so you can put them both into here and charge them both through a USB-C connection. And both batteries will charge in less than an hour. So if you are on multi-day hikes, both batteries will probably last you a day if you're just getting the odd shot. You can just charge them up overnight, or charge them up while you're having dinner or whatever. All right, next one. Was the light a bit low on the shoot day? The color balance changed slightly a couple of times. The drone looks encouraging. Did I see you break into a run, or did you stumble on a rock? So yeah, on the review video, I was shooting pretty much all day. So some shots are in the morning, some shots are in the afternoon. And that's why there's a discrepancy between the white balance in the shots. I'm not a pro, so I don't mess about with white balance. Next one, it's a great piece of kit. Does slightly pixelate around you like you're being followed by Predator. Tempted to get one myself for my next trek. Now, quite a few people have mentioned this where they've seen pixelation on the video. Now, a couple of people have commented and I've responded and asked them to check their settings on the YouTube player, because depending on your internet speed, depending on the device that you're watching on, YouTube can throttle the video, and it's the same for any video. In these 2 cases, to check the settings and put them on maximum resolution, the pixelation disappeared. There were some, who was it, Top Bloke Golf. It's a stock answer I've been getting from YouTubers about these pixelated videos. We're not all idiots, plus can you not see it for yourself? It has trouble with rendering grass. I can only see the file itself. I can't see what you're viewing it on, if that makes sense. So I have put on the review video a link to some raw files that you can download in a zip file. So if you want to have a look for yourself and see what I can see, then you'll see there's no pixelation in there, but I can't see what you see. Next one, the camera is bad. Useful. So I said it looks alright to me, and again, have you checked the maximum quality settings on the YouTube player? Yes, the drone looks promising, and I will purchase it if it has at least 10-bit like quality. Right now, it only looks like flying toy with camera. If it had a 10-bit camera on there, it'd be 3 times the price, twice the weight, and you wouldn't buy it. Video quality is crap, and the drone is a bit expensive. Again, did you check the YouTube player settings? I watched on a 55-inch screen in full resolution. It doesn't matter what size screen you're watching on, it's more about the connection quality and bandwidth that you've got and the resolution that the YouTube player is pulling the video down at. So I'll leave that one with you. If you have got any questions that I haven't answered, either drop them on this video or on the review video and I'll get back to you.